Hello everyone. It's good to be with you. I want to talk about something today that comes from the heart, from the therapy room, and from countless conversations about love, loss, and the hope of reconciliation. Specifically, I want to explore a concept so many of you have asked about, wrestled with, and perhaps even tried in moments of deep pain: the idea of no contact. There's a pervasive belief, a kind of modern relationship folklore, that says if you want an avoidant partner to come back, to finally see your worth and commit, you must disappear. You must enact a period of radio silence, a total blackout, believing that your absence will create a vacuum so powerful it will pull them toward you. It's a strategy born of frustration and heartache, a last-ditch effort to feel some sense of control when you feel you have none. And I want to speak to you today not to condemn that impulse, it is completely human and understandable, but to offer a different perspective, a more nuanced view from the other side of the fence. Because what if, in our sincere attempt to draw someone closer, we are actually, unintentionally, building a wall higher? What if no contact, in certain contexts, can make it more difficult for an avoidant person to truly, healthily, come back? I need to be clear from the start, this isn't a one-size-fits-all verdict. Life and love are far too complex for that. There are absolutely situations where creating space is not just beneficial but essential, for your own sanity, for your own healing, especially after a clear breakup where you need to tend to your own wounds. What I'm talking about is the specific scenario where no contact is employed not as a tool for personal recovery, but as a strategic lever intended to engineer a specific outcome in another person, their change. It's the difference between saying, "I need to step back to heal myself," and saying, "I will step back to make you realize what you're missing so that you will change into the partner I need you to be." The first is an act of self-preservation, the second, however well-intentioned, can become an attempt to control, and it's in this space that we often see it backfire. Let's imagine a couple, let's call them Sarah and Mark. Sarah has an anxious attachment style, she craves closeness, reassurance, and tangible signs of commitment. Mark is avoidant, he values his independence, feels overwhelmed by too much demand, and retreats when he feels pressured. Their dance is a classic one: the more Sarah reaches for connection, the further Mark steps back. The more Mark retreats, the more panicked Sarah becomes, reaching out even more. It's a painful, exhausting cycle. After yet another conversation where Mark seems distant and noncommittal, Sarah, in a moment of utter frustration, decides she's had enough. She's read online that no contact is the way to go. She thinks, if I just disappear, he'll finally see how empty his life is without me. He'll feel the loss, he'll yearn for me, and he'll come back ready to be the committed partner I deserve. So, she sends a final text, perhaps it's an angry one, perhaps a sad one, and then she blocks him. She goes completely dark. Now, let's step into Mark's shoes. From his perspective, what just happened? The relationship, while fraught with tension, was still a connection. Then, seemingly out of the blue from his point of view, he is met with a wall of silence. He is cut off, terminated, without a continuing dialogue. His primary feeling isn't likely to be yearning, it's more often confusion, followed by a profound sense of rejection. For an avoidant person, whose core wound is often related to enmeshment and loss of self, this doesn't feel like an invitation to reflect. It feels like a confirmation of their deepest fears, that relationships are unpredictable, that love can be withdrawn abruptly and punitively. Instead of feeling drawn toward the warmth of connection, they feel pushed further into the safety of their own fortress. The bridge isn't being repaired, it's been blown up, and from their side of the canyon, it looks like you were the one who lit the fuse. This leads me to the first reason this approach can backfire. It can be perceived as an attempt to control the relationship through punishment. When you initiate no contact as a strategy to force change, what you're communicating, even if it's not your intent, is a kind of ultimatum: change your behavior to my specifications, or you will lose access to me. While this might sound like a clear boundary to you, to an avoidant individual, it feels like emotional blackmail. It triggers their fundamental aversion to being controlled. Their entire defensive structure is built around maintaining autonomy. So, when they feel a demand, even a silent, absent one, their instinct is not to comply, but to rebel, to retreat further to prove to themselves that no one can tell them what to do. The very thing you're trying to eliminate, their distance, becomes their only source of safety. The second reason is about the creation of uncertainty, which feels like danger to an avoidant nervous system. We often think that creating mystery or uncertainty will spark desire, and in the early, flirtatious stages of a relationship, that can be true. But in an established bond where trust is already fragile, sudden and unexplained silence doesn't create attractive mystery, it creates terrifying instability. An avoidant person, despite their independent exterior, still has a human need for security and predictability. When you vanish, you introduce a massive, unpredictable variable. They are left to guess, is she gone forever? Is this a game? Is she hurting? Is she angry with me? Did I do something horrible? This guessing game doesn't make you seem more desirable, it makes you seem volatile and unsafe. How can they open up to someone who can disappear without a conversation? How can they trust that if they do come back, you won't use this tactic again the next time there's a conflict? The foundation for secure attachment is consistency and safety, and strategic no-contact shatters both. Then there's the issue of perceived immaturity and a lack of confidence in direct communication. Many avoidant individuals I've worked with in therapy have expressed this feeling quite acutely. They can often sense when a partner is employing a strategy they've read about online. And it feels inauthentic. It feels like a game. And there is nothing that turns an avoidant person off more than relational gamesmanship. They value directness, even if they struggle with it themselves. They admire strength, and in their minds, strength is shown by having the courage to say what you need clearly and calmly, not by withdrawing to manipulate an outcome. By going no contact, you might inadvertently be confirming a secret suspicion they have, that you are not a safe person to have difficult conversations with. They may think, if she can't even talk to me about our problems and instead just disappears, how are we ever going to handle the real, big challenges life throws at us? You are trying to prove your worth by your absence, but they are assessing your worth as a partner based on your ability to engage in the messy, beautiful, and terrifying work of real intimacy. This also ties into a deep sense of resentment that can build. Let's say the strategy appears to work. The absence becomes too painful, or the avoidant partner does some reflection and decides to come back. They might return, and on the surface, it looks like a success. But beneath that surface, there can be a quiet, simmering resentment. They may feel they were forced into this position, that they had no agency in the process, that they were strong-armed into returning under your terms. It's like being given an ultimatum at work: take this promotion under these conditions, or you're fired. You might take the job, but you'll always resent the way it happened. In a relationship, that resentment is a poison. It erodes goodwill and genuine connection. They may be back, but they are back with a sense of having lost a battle, not of having chosen to build a peace treaty together. And a relationship built on a foundation of resentment is like a house built on a fault line. It's only a matter of time before the next tremor shakes it apart. So, if strategic no-contact often backfires, what is the alternative? It's not about having no boundaries or tolerating unacceptable behavior. It's about shifting the entire paradigm. The goal is not to make someone come back through clever tactics. The goal is to create an environment so safe, so respectful, and so authentic that if they come back, it is for the right reasons, and the relationship has a chance to become something new and healthy. The alternative is what I call grounded connection. It's the courage to state your needs clearly and calmly, without accusation. It's saying, I love you and I want to be with you, but the current dynamic where I feel alone in the relationship is too painful for me. I am going to take a step back to focus on my own life and happiness. I am not doing this to punish you. I am doing it because I need to honor myself. The door is not closed, but it cannot be a revolving door for the same painful patterns. If and when you feel ready to work on this together with real effort and openness, I am here to talk. Then, you actually do it. You live your life. You don't wait. You don't post things on social media to make them jealous. You genuinely disengage from the drama of the relationship, but you leave the line of dignified communication open. This does several powerful things. First, it demonstrates immense self-respect, which is inherently attractive. Second, it removes the element of punitive control, which calms the avoidant person's defenses. Third, it places the responsibility for change squarely on their shoulders, where it belongs. You are not chasing them, nor are you playing hard to get. You are simply being whole without them. This is a much more powerful invitation for growth than any silent treatment could ever be. You are essentially saying, I am complete on my own. I invite you to join me in a healthier space, but I will not dismantle myself to beg for your presence. This path is slower. It requires immense patience and faith. It doesn't offer the quick, drama-filled rush of a reconciliatory reunion after a period of silence. But it builds something far more enduring. It builds a connection based on mutual respect, not on manipulation or fear of loss. It allows both of you to come together not as two halves desperate to become whole, but as two whole people choosing to build a beautiful, shared world. And whether that person chooses to step into that world with you or not, you are left standing in your own power, whole and complete, ready for whatever love is meant for you. That, in the end, is the truest victory. Not winning someone back, but winning back yourself.